Alrighty, this is the Resurrected Hobbyist performing a work-in-progress review feedback video on last meal at Cafe Mori. I was asked to look at the information on the itch.io page before going into the game. So the following information appears on the page. Last meal at Cafe Mori. In a fantasy world where Halloween-themed monsters and witches are commonplace, the universe is about to come to an end. A Grim Reaper is tasked with working at a cafe run by Death himself, serving patrons with a meal that recreates the person's most precious memory. Inspired by various visual novels of the cafe and bartender simulator subgenre, Last Meal at Cafe Mori is a game about death, desserts, and introspection. Okay, if absolutely nothing else, I'm going to say right now that description sounds intriguing as hell. But looking at the page, I'm getting a very nighttime-esque, dusk twilight kind of feel from it. But looking at the screen caps, I see that the art style is a little more cartoonish, character-ish. So, I mean, just kind of going into it from nothing else except for what I've seen on the page, I'm kind of feeling like I'm going to get like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe from this. So, let's see where we go. Okay, here's the menu. Kind of interesting UI. I like the what's it called? The spoon cursor. Okay, so start. When the first living things existed, I was there waiting. When the last living thing dies, my job will be finished. I'll put the chairs on the table, turn out the lights, and lock the universe behind me when I leave. Pretty sure they said that in Supernatural, too. As I looked through the cafe's glass wall into the intense sky, I knew there was going to be trouble. I wondered how long it would take. Would it hurt? Where would I end up afterwards? I can read, I swear. I heard Mori walk in.
Good morning.
Voice acting, nice plus. And we have Robin. Oh, and she blinks. That's kind of cute.
Good morning, shall we?
I'm gonna have to get used to that voice for a Grim Reaper type character. We begin taking the wood chairs off the tables, placing them down into the care of two people who have done this 100 times before. It was as if everything was fine, just another day at the cafe at the end of the universe. I'm pretty sure that was a location in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. As I put down the last chair at the corner of the west end, I turned to look through the outer glass wall. I wondered, can I see it from here? I could, it turned out. Oh, it's a black hole, yay! The void. No, dude, that's the void. A magic tear in the fabric of space, growing larger and larger with each passing moment. It was ancient. It was angry. And it was hungry. Well, good thing I came to a cafe then and have a bite. It looked like how I would imagine a black hole would look like. Okay, I swear I'm not clairvoyant. It moved slow enough that you wouldn't notice it moving as you stared at it. But, well, people were noticing it now. The cafe was empty of patrons at the moment, but I had a feeling that they'd be here soon, and there'd be many.
So,
What a riveting conversation.
are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room?
I know that's a turn of phrase, but everything else has been established in the last 5 minutes. I'm not sure she's not being literal. Mori looked around as if he'd seen an elephant in the room if he looked hard enough. I was kidding.
How do you mean?
I wanted to say the universe is ending, and I'm not even sure immortal people will survive this. He blinked at me. I blinked at him. How's a skeleton blink?
Well, you've been hearing the reports coming back.
Occasionally.
And you sometimes listen to the news when the radio's on?
I have. This is totally true.
He nodded slowly as he said this, a bleached skull bobbing up and down beneath a hood.
And what has the news been saying?
That it's Discworld's 50th anniversary?
No! The Void! Stop playing around. The entire world. The entire universe. Everything we know and love is about to be wiped out of existence.
Robin, he's a Grim Reaper. That's Tuesday for them.
How can you be alright with this?
Robin.
Is that star supposed to be there? Is that supposed to symbolize something?
And it's not just everyone else, or even me. What about you? If existence is wiped out, what happens to you? Are you just going to... What are we going to do?
Okay, I guess that's signifying the end of the passage, and you can proceed to the next section. Mori shrugged.
There doesn't seem to be much we can do. The humans seem to have tried what they could, and... well, here we are.
Have they, though? I thought.
Can't you do something?
No, it's out of my hands.
You're death. You're immortal. You're as old as life itself. So, how bad do you think things are?
All right, look. I'm not saying things are hopeless, but let's just say the cafe at the end of the universe has switched to its dessert menu.
Okay, I get what he's saying, but that's still a funny line. Props.
But we still have a job to do, and I would very much like to continue doing that with you, if you'd like.
So we just carry on like usual?
Yep. Well, maybe not entirely. Today we have a heavier workload.
Why? I mean, if you're at the end of the universe, why would you have a heavier workload than any other day of the... The implication of that sentence just hung in the air for a moment. Yeah, I've got a question about it.
Okay then, off to work. Serve the patrons. See you at the end.
Remember, pay close attention to what the patrons tell you about their memory. Really keep it in mind. You'll need to remember it to decide what meal to serve them.
Interesting.
Mori, I know all this. I've literally been doing this since the 50s.
Of which century?
All right, all right. Just wanted to give you a quick refresher. We may not get to do this again.
I wanted to say something, but he had already vanished. Great, it's the Batman Death Reaper. I looked around the cafe, taking in the patrons. The witch, the scientist, the guy with the jack-o'-lantern for a head, the gargoyle, or the ghost? Let's do the witch. I turned to the witch, beckoning her over to the counter. Huh. Okay, I was not expecting that for what the witch would look like. As she walked closer, I saw that her witch uniform had a star-themed outfit. As she walked closer, I saw that her witch uniform had a star-themed outfit. Wouldn't the star-themed outfit be her uniform at that point? Anyway, her blue dress and hat were dusted with stars that appeared to be flecks of gold. I just noticed, looks like the background changes. I'm curious to find out whether or not it changes based on what character I selected to interact with. We'll find out. I didn't know everything about the nuances of witches, but I'd learned a bit here and there from my brief encounters at the cafe. A witch's uniform was important to what school of magic they had trained under.
Hello there. Welcome to Cafe Mori.
I tried to not sound like I had said that sentence 1,000 times, wearing it down with each use. Yeah. Music is a bit loud at this part. Kind of overpowers the voice actor, at least on that line anyway. I'll see how it goes beyond this.
Do you know why you're here?
She looked around. Before I beckoned her over, she had been spending her time looking through the north and east glass walls of the cafe, drinking in the dramatic sky.
Did I astral project?
Okay, that wasn't the answer I was expecting.
No. I was just getting groceries, crossing the street, and here I am.
Cool. Car accidents, always fun. I mentally wondered if she had been hit by a car. I wondered who was driving it. An idiot, probably. Yeah, that's usually what happens.
I don't really know how to put this, but you're dead.
You think that would get easier after... Well, actually, she didn't say what 50 she's been doing this since, so it could have been... She could have been doing this for 70 years or 7,000.
What? Did it happen already?
Huh. The end of the universe? No, not yet. The void's still out there. Okay. I gestured toward the eye of hell outside. But it'll happen eventually. In the meantime, welcome to the cafe. Do you know what we do here? Her expression becomes more solemn. She was beginning to process what had happened to her. I do. That much I had expected. I knew by now that witches were well educated in the supernatural. What is your most precious memory? I wish I had more time to pick this. What memory would you choose? Don't ask me. I'm just the mixologist. She contemplated for a few minutes, searching through her palace of thoughts. She was taking a while, so I decided to do my bartender thing. So, what did you do back on Earth? What earthly delights did you partake in? She seemed to light up at the question. Oh, I'm a divination expert. I do tarot card readings for people. I study different spreads, and when I graduated from the academy, I was given a handmade deck of cards to use. I also use the stars to write horoscopes for a witch newsletter. Or at least I did until the internet died. I'm not sure if she means like the internet died or the internet killed that particular option, but My confusion was possibly visible on my usually stone-like face, because, she added, it was an online newsletter. Okay, answers that. I was picturing a newsletter that was old enough to turn to iron on. We like to combine the old with the new. The first witches were people who thought outside the box, remember? Right. That gets me thinking. How much do you believe in the accuracy of tarot cards? She paused, looking a bit confused, then smiled. I think the cards give people the answers they need. If you're willing to look at the cards for an answer, you will find one. I also just really enjoy looking at the stars. Oh, that reminds me. I know what memory to choose. There we go. My most precious memory is this. When I was a child, I almost died in a skiing accident. There was a tall wooden fence that blocked off the edge of a cliff near the slopes, but I was so short at the time that I just sailed under it. It's a pretty crappy wooden fence if that was the case. Before I reached the edge of the cliff, I leaned off my skis to fall over sideways. My father was there when it happened. I think he blamed himself. He took me home and wrapped me up in a blanket and made a hot water bottle for me to sit next to. We spent the rest of the day watching cartoons on the sofa. It was such a long time ago, but I just have this vivid memory of that blanket and hot water bottle and feeling safe. I think if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have decided to follow my dreams of studying magic. I paused. I wondered what I would have done if I hadn't died. Well, died so soon. If I had been given more time, what would I have done with it? I decided not to think about it. So, I needed to pick a recipe that evokes that memory, I thought. Right, coming right up. Truffle. The first time you meet the most important person in your life, you didn't know it at the time, but you do now. Looking back, ingredients: coffee beans, strawberry, vanilla extract, and wine. Okay. Beans, strawberry, and vanilla. Okay. I slid the meal towards her. Ah, thank you. She started to eat. I turned away to polish a glass with the flannel. Not because I needed to, but because it gave me something to do. It was a trick of the trade that I had learned over the years. I eventually heard her slide the plate back, devoid of its contents. That isn't quite what I was looking for. My spirit sank. I'm sorry, I always try to do my best, but after several decades, we still make mistakes. It's okay. It was nice to see a Grim Reaper at work after reading about you guys. Oh, out of curiosity, what do books say about Grim Reapers in academia? She smiled like someone who knew a good secret. I remember one essayist describing you as the bartenders of the galaxy. A little on the nose, but okay. That's funny. Poetic, almost. Does that mean I can get a tip? Do you want a tip? I shrugged. Not much point. I'd only have a few hours to spend it. True. Hopefully I can see more of the stars as I leave. Before they're all gone. Okay. So, was the blender game like a challenge and I got it wrong? That's why she said that wasn't quite what I was looking for? I'm a little unclear on the game. Alright, let's do the gargoyle next. I'm gonna see if the background changes. Oi, over here. I called over to the gargoyle. I gestured them over with a wave of my hand. They wore an oatmeal jumper, which their stony form appeared to fit comfortably in. From what I had seen, gargoyles came in all sorts of forms. This one resembled a bat, or a goat. Both? The gargoyles seemed distressed. Their lips were quivering, and their eyes were shining with what I hoped wasn't going to be tears. I realized I would have to be gentle with this one, so he's probably a youngin'. I cleared my throat. Welcome to the Cafe Mori. Do you remember what you were doing before you arrived here? I was reading on the church roof when I felt some pebbles fall on my head. I looked up and saw a section of the east wing falling in my direction. Ouch. I was once again thankful that patrons didn't come to the cafe in pieces with holes of themselves missing. Yeah, that's a worthwhile thing. That wasn't a dream, you realize. That actually happened. Wait, does that mean Yes, I'm afraid so. And this is Cafe Mori is not on Earth. You're at the edge of the universe, the last point of contact for the void. From the look of things, Cafe Mori will be the last building swallowed up. Good location. So everything ends here? Yeah? No. It's complicated. Does it depend on whether you're good or bad? No, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad. Death will always be there. It's kind of his thing. He says it's comforting because it means no matter what you've done, you won't be alone when you die. Okay, that's a reasonable way to look at it. I'd prefer just not dying, to be honest. No. I know this is all a lot to take in, but I really need to ask you something. Out of all your years of life on Earth, which one memory is the most precious to you? I need to know because once you have chosen, I will do my best to recreate it as a meal. When you eat it, you'll be able to re-experience the memory before you go. What happens after that? I don't know. Normally you'd be reincarnated and live your next life. But with the universe ending, I guess this is the last run through. Oh. We both went quiet for a moment. I'm not sure what memory to pick. They sat in front of the windowed wall, taking in the end of the universe. I miss my friends. I lost contact with them when the void destroyed the internet. Oh, right. I heard about that. Everyone went a bit mad when they realized the web wasn't coming back. News stations had to scramble to find a more old-fashioned way of broadcasting. I didn't even get to say goodbye to them. I hope they're all right. And it's the internet. There's so much stuff. Archives, records, art. Well, that's kind of getting a little bit more heavy than I was ready for. Cat videos. Thanks. You watch a lot of those too? Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and call this for part 1, and then I'll pick it up in part 2. I like trying to keep the videos to, 22, 23 minutes tops for ease of review, watching, and consumption. So, yeah. Check me out for part 2 of Last Meal at Cafe Mori.